Morning friends, today I'm going to show you a recipe that is popular all over the Portuguese households, and everybody has their own ways of making it. It is queijadas de nata. The regular queijadas de nata are made with puff pastry, and I've done with the puff pastry, buy it from the store and put it in my tins and make it. But not only puff pastry is expensive, you have to work fast so the butter doesn't start melting. So I was looking through my cookbooks the other day, and I have this recipe that is done with a different pastry. It's done with a pastry that I think we make for the risque or the it's a very easy, forgiving recipe, pastry. So I don't know where did I get this recipe, who gave me, but anyway. So I've done these queijadas de nata before that way, so I know they work and they're delicious. So I'm going to show you how I make them. So I'm going to start with the cream. So let me zoom in. In here, I have 3 cups of whipping cream. And you want the whipping cream. You don't want any other half and half or any of that. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it with whipping cream. So there's 3 cups in here. And we're gonna let this come to a simmer. And then I have, let me see, 1 cup of sugar. We're gonna add this sugar to the cream and we're gonna mix it. So I was just looking through recipes and I don't know how this recipe came about, who gave me, but I had forgot I had it. So here I have 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. So usually when I want to make easy queijadas de nata. We call them queijadas de nata, but they're not called queijadas de nata. They're called queijadas de leite, but I use the whipping cream and we call them queijadas de nata. It's a very easy batter you mix and then you pour it in your pan, in your little pans with the papers and you give it. But this has the real dough, and it is just delicious. And they hold shape really good. And so now I'm gonna I have 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And I'm gonna incorporate this flour. And you want to incorporate this flour when the whipping cream is still cold. You don't want it when it's hot because it can create lumps. So you just want to mix it when it's still cold. So I'm going to bring this to a simmer, almost like a bubbling. And then it start thickening because of the flour. And when that's happening, I'll show you and I'll come back. Friends, my cream is coming to a simmer. And you know it's coming to a simmer when it starts bubbling on the edges. And now, I have in here 6 eggs. I have 2 whole eggs and 4 egg yolks. I took the egg whites out. So 2 eggs, whole eggs, and then 4 egg yolks. And I'm gonna temper this. And what it is by bringing those eggs to the temperature of the cream. Otherwise, it will make scrambled eggs. And once that does, this is like making a custard cream. So then now I'm gonna add the eggs in here to my cream and mix everything and bring this to to a simmer until it thickens. Once it starts thickening, then it's good. We just need to let it cool. There's so many different ways of making queijadas de nata, and you know, and I know the proper way is to do with a puff pastry, but sometimes it's so hard to get that puff pastry. I have here 2 tablespoons of butter. I want to add to the cream, and what it's going to do is it's going to give a little shine to the cream, and it gives a little flavor of butter. It's really good. So you mix this till that butter melts, and then I'm gonna strain the I'm gonna strain my custard, and just so that I know that there's no lumps. I don't want no lumps, no different things in, you know, or something that it not supposed to be there. I want it to be a nice clean cream. Anyway, and we just kind of stir, and no matter how much, there's always something. So this way I have a nice clean cream, and I know it, and I'm gonna keep it in this measuring cup, because that's how I'm gonna pour into my little cups. So anyway, okay friends, now we're gonna do the pastry for my queijadas de nata. In here I have 2.5 cups of flour. And to say it, the recipe that I had, it was a bigger recipe than this, so I cut it short. I have 4 tablespoons of sugar. And let's mix all this. Oh, and I forgot my butter in the fridge. And I have 1 cup of butter. I cut it in cubes, and we're gonna mix this. Okay, I need my salt. I need 1 tablespoon of salt. And then you add your butter. And you want real cold butter. That's why I kept it in the fridge until I was ready to use. And you can use your hands, but I like to use my pastry cutter because I want that butter stay real cold. So, because I'm gonna roll this dough to fit my muffin tin pans, and I don't want the butter to melt too much. So you just work this dough until all that butter is incorporated in there, and it looks like cornmeal. It has the texture of cornmeal. So you just keep working on it, and I'm gonna work on this, and then when I come back, I'll show. Okay friends, here is my mixture. It resembles like cornmeal. So now I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. And then I'm gonna put I'm gonna start with 3 tablespoons of cold water, and you want cold water. And we're just gonna work this and keep adding more water as if you see you need to, because like I said, depending the day, depending the flour, it changes. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. And like I said, it has to be cold water. And you just want a dough that you can work with. It will, as you work on it, it will start not sticking so much. Work all that flour in there. It's kind of like I said, it's kind of similar to the dough that we do for the rissoles, for that massa terra, I think that's what they call. It's I think the same, close to the same ingredients. I think I haven't made rissoles in a while, but I think it's kind of the same thing. So you want all that incorporated in there, and it makes really nice dough for the rissoles. And then I have here 2 cups of Crisco. So add that at the end. And you want it to be soft. So now we're going to work that Crisco into that dough. And it's going to make a really tender dough. Working on it. And the good thing with this is you don't have to refrigerate it. You can use it right after. And here we have it. This nice dough that we're going to roll it. And then we're going to cut it into the shape to fit my tins, my muffin tins. So anyway, I'm gonna get my pans out and then I'll come back. And okay friends, I'm ready now to roll my dough. I'm gonna roll as thin as possible, but then again, you don't want too thin where the filling falls out. I would say a little less than 1/4 inch. You want really thin. And just keep rolling, and if it starts sticking, you can put some flour, or if you don't want to put flour, you can put parchment paper. You can use that too. But and just keep working this dough and make sure that there's flour so it doesn't stick. And just roll it, and when you can see it's kind of even, because we're not going to work, we can work a little bit in the pan, and you don't need to grease your pans. So I have this is about a 4-inch round cutter. Actually, this is one of my white cheese molds, but it works good for this. So I'm gonna just cut it around and make my circles, and try to fit them into the tin muffins. I mean, the other good thing is when they do the queijadas, they do the individual pans. Well, if you don't have those individual pans, which I don't, I usually use the foil, the ones you can, disposable ones. But with this, you can press it down good, and it stays, and it allows you to work the dough if you need to move it up. Another good thing that I find is that with the puff pastry puffs up too much. You lose half of the filling. With this, you don't. It stays. Wherever you put it, it stays. And you don't have to work that dough. Okay, friend, I'm in my last pan. And this is one good thing with this dough. Let's say that you rolled one section, it's too thin. You grab a piece of dough and you press it down however you want it, and it stays. I mean, that's how good this dough is. And if there's like a hole, you find you pull too much, just put some more dough around, and just grab some pieces of dough and just fill it. Fill in where you want that to be filled, so that way the whole shape of the little form is in there. And just keep pulling the dough up. But like I said, sometimes your fingernail can make a little hole. Just fill in those little spots. There's no right way, wrong way. I mean, these are not, if you had the individual little pans and roll it, they would be much prettier, let's put it. But if you don't have it, you don't need to go buy it to just do this. Just shape it around. So you want it at least them filled to the top, because you want to put enough cream in there to fill them, and you don't want it to spill it out. So, and that's what I do. I go back and I go, is there anyone that's missing a piece that I can fill so everybody gets enough cream? And that's how you have it. See? They're not perfect, but you know what? They're good. They're just right. I don't want to have to go buy those little forms and to make this. There's no need for it. And the rest, don't throw it away. Use it for something. And here's my cream. And now I'm gonna pour into my contain the little pastry. The little pastries. Fill them to the top. I like this cup because it controls how much I can pour. And if I want a little bit more, I just wiggle and it lets more. I have my oven at 400. It's preheated, 400. And this goes until they're golden brown. You know, the crust is start getting brown. Sometimes about 30 minutes. So, and that's what I'm gonna do. See? You just kind of fill them. And now I'm gonna put them in the oven. Hi friends, I'm done with my queijadas. Here you have my queijadas de nata, made with a different dough. It's called a soft dough. And here you can see they look beautiful. and the crust tastes delicious. So, you know, sometimes those old recipes that we put it away and we forget, bring them out. Bring them out once in a while and try them. I had no idea how I got this recipe. I know I had it in my cookbook, and it is delicious. And so it gave me 24 queijadas, and I still had a little bit of dough left, and I made a tart. I put it in one of those springform pans. I had a little bit of cream. I put the cream and I baked it until the crust was golden. And then I had some whipped cream. I whipped the whipped cream with some powdered sugar, and I have lemon zest in there. And then put it over. Now I'm going to refrigerate it, and it made a beautiful dessert. But if you didn't want to put lemon, you could have just made the plain whipped cream and just put fresh fruits, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries. It would make it delicious. What I want to show you and tell you is that this dough it can do a lot of different things, and it's very easy and very forgiving to work with. When you work with it, it doesn't spring back. It just rolls nice, and you can work just with your hands however you want it, and it's very easy. So here you have my Queijadas de Natas, and you know, give it a try. Give it a try, this recipe. It's very easy, and it's delicious, and everybody's gonna be raving your Queijadas de Natas, and you don't have to sweat making that puff pastry or going and buying the puff pastry. So get cooking, and until next time, have a good day.